What's going on, everybody? It's your boy D from DNC Digital, back to do another live, and this time we're going back to Verzuz recaps, which is always a lot of fun with my boy Brian. He's gonna come in a second. Got my lady Sasha watching. Promise Braxton, what's going on? Promise Braxton, that is my girlfriend Sasha watching. So hi to both of you. Love you, baby. So we're going to be talking about the Verzuz last night. I'm not sure if you guys saw it. If you didn't, you missed out on a lot. Over 1 million people were watching that. It was Brandy against Monica, two of the women that were always competing for the same spot at the same time when they were younger in the 90s. They were always putting out some good stuff. My buddy Brian has his own feelings about this. And I, of course, have opposing feelings. So I'm just waiting on him, see where he's at. But it was a good one. But not only that, we want to talk about some other stuff because we've missed a couple lives. We've missed a couple Verzuz battles. We're going to be going over those along with other things that have happened in the world. Saja Hussein, what's going on? Thanks for joining in. Gonna bring in my brother from another, Mr. Brian Davis. Let's see how long his beard has gotten. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh, I chopped. How's it going, buddy? I chopped it off, so a little bit, just a little trim.
Look at that shirt. That's a good shirt.
It's a very nice shirt. I like it.
DNC Digital. I appreciate the support.
I can get you a shirt if you want. I know a guy.
I know a guy. Yeah,
I know a guy. I got one.
What are you doing right now? It's so nice out there. Where are you?
I'm home. I had a pretty long night. Had my football draft yesterday, and then stayed up and watched the Verzuz. Talked to you a little bit, and then nothing much. Just relaxing on my nice little Tuesday off. So, how about yourself?
Little Tuesday. All right. So before we get into what we usually get into,
Okay.
this past week we lost Chadwick Boseman.
We
who
did.
played the Black Panther along with Jackie Robinson and other roles that he's done. I saw some awesome videos, and I talked about it in my last live that I immediately went to that video where it's him and Jimmy Fallon surprising people or talking to a poster of Black Panther, and it just looks like emotional stuff. I caught myself choking up, and but not to be ignored either. But former NBA player Cliff Robinson also passed away the next day.
It's been a rough week, man.
It's been a rough week. It's been a rough year, and it's been a rough year for the African American community too.
Okay.
So this is like another blow. So I'm gonna give you the floor, and just say how that impacted you this past week. I know we spoke about it a little bit, but I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for spending this little time in beginning of this little hour-long chat that we have to discuss this. It's hit me a few different ways, which is something is new to me. You have the aspect, I'm a huge Marvel fan, so it hit me as a fan of the movies and just the character itself. And then it also hit me as as a Black man and what he represented to the culture, what he represented for the future in African Americans being displayed in cinema, and it was a crushing blow. Like I really I can't even find another way to put it besides it was crushing. I remember I was scrolling down my timeline, and then I got the notification that he passed, and he passed from colon cancer, which was shocking because just like everybody else, nobody knew that he was suffering from that illness, and it hurt. That this is right, up there with Kobe passing earlier this year, and it struck a chord with me because of what he meant to the African American culture, the African American as a whole. Dude, and we touched on it last night, what he represented was something bigger than just, a movie or a role or something like that. Like what what Black Panther did um, for the African American culture is it's I don't even know how to describe it. That wasn't a movie. That was a movement. We came out in drones to support an all black cast that ultimately placed number 13 grossing worldwide. Not take out Marvel, but just as of movies of all time. That's huge with a predominantly all black cast. That's something that I've never seen before, and that meant everything to me. And to know that a big part of that is gone now, it hurts. It hurts a lot.
What do you think it says about him that the past, I want to say it was 2 years that I read, that he was fighting this, still filming all these movies back to back?
I think it might have been even 4 years. I think he had been battling it for 4 years. I think when he first was diagnosed, he was already in stage 3. And then ultimately it progressed to stage 4. But that just shows the will and the character that he was made up with. Just to know that he gave us some timeless pieces of work while he was battling that. It's special. That man was special, and it's one of those situations where it's like you don't know what you have until it's gone, which sucks because we hate to live life like that. We like to give people their flowers while they're here to enjoy them, and it just sucks that in this situation, because it happened so suddenly out of nowhere, that we weren't able to do that, and to see the outpour of support, the love that he just poured on other people, with his, acts of kindness and words of wisdom, and, him visiting St. Jude's, or, just giving back to the community. It was something special. That man was something else. And again, it was just a crushing blow to lose him in that way.
With all due respect to your view and your position in this, I feel like, maybe not enough, but I feel like he did get his flowers when he was here. With the numbers of that movie and the mere fact that people came out and they saw him as somebody who can symbolize what people stand for, and to move on to just some messed up stuff that's going on, and people have their opinions about it, and I feel like people need to understand, like me and you, we're always on different sides when it comes to the Verzuz, but we're still brothers. You're still my brother. But for deeper issues, there are a lot of things that if you disagree with somebody, you immediately hate them, or they immediately hate you, or something like that. To this day,
To this
day, the cops are still not arrested who killed Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor. Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor.
Sleeping in her bed. The no-knock warrant, which sometimes I'm on the fence about. Sometimes you do have to knock on the door, but in this situation, tragically, somebody lost her life, and
senselessly.
Sometimes people are arrested. Police officers are arrested in a PR move, like, "Hey, we got to do this. Come in. We got to do this, and then we'll go to trial." No other steps have been taken as far as Breonna Taylor. Your thoughts?
My thoughts. We can spend a whole hour on this topic, but it's tragic, senseless, aggravating, angering. I think that pretty much sums it up. The fact that someone's child is no longer here over something that just was senseless. As a parent, I'm a parent, you're a parent. Just put yourself in that situation where, your daughter, my daughter, was at home, relaxing, resting, um, and then their life was just taken without merit, without cause. Um, and I think that's what gets lost in translation all the time is that the amount of compassion is just gone from a lot of people. It's so simple. Just put yourself in that situation. How would you feel? If that was your daughter, if that was your child, how would you feel? Wouldn't you want justice? Wouldn't you want someone to be held accountable? Not that it's not gonna bring your child back, but you can't lose your child and not have answers and not have somebody be held accountable. Um,
Uh,
it's tragic.
speaking as a black man who's seen like a shitty year, you know, um, how do you feel about those people who look at all police officers like they're doing something wrong? Um, are there any legs under that feeling, or do you feel like yes, there are some police officers who do it, but there are some that actually do want to do the job right?
Well, I mean, some black people rob you and some don't. Some black people are killers and some aren't. Can't group everybody together because that's what has been happening to us for the last few hundred years. We've been grouped as this in some people's views. That doesn't even make sense to me. So for me to come from that environment, to know that I'm viewed in that way in some people's eyes, I couldn't turn around and say all of this is one thing. Not all of one thing is the same in any situation. So no, I don't think there's any legs to that. I don't think that I have family members that are police officers, and they're damn good ones.
Okay.
So no, I can't see that there's any legs that all police officers are wrong, but in some situations it's the few that ruin it for the bunch. And I'm not here to, and
Yeah,
I'm not here to change I'm not here to change anyone's minds. Everyone can have their own opinions based on that. Um, you know, and it's getting to the point where you can't fault anybody for thinking that. You're giving them more than enough reason to have their opinions if that's how they want to feel.
yeah, and those are things that we took a couple of verses verses
Versus,
versus
versus,
versus
Versailles or
Versailles,
Versailles.
the Isle of Versailles. We took a couple of those off, scheduling commitments and stuff. So, let's just get this one out the way. 2 Chainz and Rick Ross. I wasn't really interested in it because I didn't know
That shirt
much about
pops.
their
That
catalogs.
shirt, man, it pops.
Oh, that's a great shirt.
I told you I can get
Great.
you
Look
one,
at
man.
that thing.
I can get it shipped to you too. It's all good.
You can get it shipped.
I
I
can get
know.
it shipped to you. I know a guy.
I know. Check this
I
out.
know a guy.
Yeah. So, 2 Chainz, Rick Ross. I wasn't really
Look at that. Look at that.
like that.
See, I went with the just the natural white and black. I think it goes with everything. The black and white. See, I
Yeah,
kind of flip flopped. I originally told you I wanted the black and white, but now I was like, the white and black look pretty sweet. So,
you got to, and we got tank tops too. Check that
oh shit, I like it. Might have to get one of those tank tops though. Might have to put
out.
one in the box for me.
Definitely put it in the cart.
Put it in the cart.
So 2 Chainz and Rick Ross aside, you were saying that 2 Chainz really doesn't have. Well, go
Yeah,
ahead. You
no,
have the floor. You said that
I don't.
2
I
Chainz doesn't
honestly
really
don't.
have.
I don't think he had the catalog for someone of that stature. I don't think um, he should have been. He just doesn't match well against Rick Ross. I think very few people do in 2 Chainz's defense. But I do like the
To
look.
do some fantasy booking, who would you have put against Rick Ross?
Probably like a Lil Wayne would have been a more appropriate opponent. Um,
Mm.
to me, off the top of the head, that could have probably been. And I mean, the fact that they wouldn't be able to squash their shit, maybe 50 Cent, but someone of that caliber. I don't think 2 Chainz has the catalog for 20 songs to be put up against Rick Ross's 20 songs. And to be honest with you, I think Rick Ross took it easy on him because he knew that. Because there is a lot of songs that I'm pretty sure he could have just spent 20 songs and just he's got probably like 20 him and Drake songs he could have just played and just ended it right then and there. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the theatrics of it with the strippers. Can't go wrong with a little stripper action.
Can't go wrong with opening the toolbox and pulling out some ratchets.
Don't care how bad the Verzuz is or how bad I didn't want to watch it. I will never be tired.
You could have watched it on mute at that point.
I think I did actually, but yeah. But yeah, I think that was just a bad matchup. That's it.
Moving on. Real quick. God, I'm sorry I keep getting up, but that's only because I got these damn puppies and I'm trying to keep them at bay.
They can't get a. I can't see what the dogs are like.
What's that?
Show them.
These guys.
Oh, that's right. I did see that you were that you had the puppies. I remember that. Was that yesterday, right?
Yeah, we had some puppies and they're little shitheads. I don't like them. I'm over them. This guy has real quick, so we can get into last night's versus. Let's go over DMX and Snoop Dogg real quick. For me, that was just so much fun. Snoop doing the slipping hook, the hook for slipping, was amazing. It sounded amazing. It sounded like a remix that I wanted to hear. DMX being out of breath the entire time was awesome. The most exciting moment for me was when Snoop did "What's My Name?" Snoop Doggy, and then DMX like a boss, bro. He was like, all right, that's your name. That's your name. All right, we gonna go find with my name. And then boom, 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 and then what's my name? So, what were some of your favorite parts, real quick, before we get into Brandy and Monica?
Definitely the slipping was my favorite part. That song, I'm pretty sure that I played that song at least 100 to 200 times in my lifetime. It struck a chord with me. I don't think I ever at that time heard a song where, just so much raw energy was put on display where I felt it, like it touched my soul. So that was definitely a favorite part of mine, especially with Snoop, giving props to it. And I think just overall the love they had for each other. You never really got to see that on display throughout the course of their career. But you got to see it that night. I think that was special. I think that was a perfect. When I heard it, Snoop and X, I'm like, damn, does X really have 20 songs that can match Snoop's best 20 songs? And I didn't give him a shot. And I think that's a takeaway I've come away with all of the verses is that I don't know shit about shit. Because every time I think I know that someone's gonna run away with something, it doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, going into it, you think about Snoop. He had Tupac. He had Dre.
Exactly.
Like so many in the pocket.
Right? Snoop had a bit of a cheat code for the majority of his career, and although X had the Rough Riders and the Express Beats, it really wasn't much of a crutch for him. It was him. But I think overall to me that was my favorite versus. I feel like I keep saying that every time the verses come out, but that was definitely my favorite versus thus far.
All right, so tell me what kind of weather it is over there. What's the weather like there?
Cloudy, little overcast. It's warm, nice little breeze. So I decided to hang outside today.
Okay, so you have a nice breeze, pretty warm. It's Texas, so it's always hot.
Always hot.
But can we talk about the amount of shade that was in Atlanta, Georgia last night? Brandy and Monica, two beautiful women, great singers. They did not have a good time. I mean, they had a good time by not having a good time. And in turn, I had a great time.
I think everything was good until maybe like around that half-hour mark. Brandy made some little slight comment about how she felt as though Monica wasn't always, the best person towards her. And that's when shit went a little bit left. I think they never really recovered after that. And it was a little bit of a little shade thrown back and forth throughout that entire display of beautiful, beautiful music by two beautifully talented black women. That was great.
No,
So
when two women compliment each other over and over and over again, they don't like each other, and that's what I was. What you are an artist. That's why you're an artist. It's like I did a song. Did you hear when Tupac shouted me out? I remember that. I did a song with Biggie and everything.
oh, but the ultimate flex though, I think shots were fired in the first minute when Brandy brought out vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris as a nice little flex, like, yo, it's my people's right here. Stop
On
them and
speed
take this
dial.
up.
That's on
Stop
speed
them and
dial
take
right
this
there.
up.
And
That
then
was a
I
nice
like
little
how they
flex.
were like, we're gonna take a break, let the DJ play whatever they want, and thank you so much for watching. Monica's like, how many we got watching? 1.2 million? Okay, go ahead and drop my new shit right now. Brandy was like this with the mic. She was just like, now we doing this now.
Oh, that's what we're doing now? That's what we're doing? Yeah, I mean, it made sense. 1.2 million just on Instagram is fucking ridiculous. I don't think any other verses, at least on Instagram, I don't know what numbers they did for uh, Apple TV or Apple Music, but 1.2 million on Instagram is fucking wild, bro. It's crazy. Salute them, man.
Um,
Congratulations.
no, that was a great one. I want to say that going back because I saw Teddy Riley in the chat, and I'm surprised he was able to,
How to
understand how
use
to
it.
work it. Yeah,
Yeah,
how
how to
to
use
use
it,
it and
yeah.
everything. But Babyface and Teddy Riley, I think, beat them on that number. But I want to say they're either first place or second place. So let's go into it. Um, we have about 40 minutes left, so we have more than enough time.
Yeah.
Brandy starts off with "What About Us?" Monica answers with "Everything."
I think that round I gave to Monica, that was just a beautifully
Yeah.
song. Although I do like "What About Us" by Brandy. That's a song that I remember hearing a lot on the radio as a kid. And not so much from Monica's song, but just hearing it live at that point. I give that round to Monica.
"What About Us" had some awesome production, but I think
Of
everything was more of a song,
course.
the more of a story in there. So we're gonna do. Hold on one second. We both feel it's Brandy Monica, so that's 1-0. Brandy hit "My One," which is a good song. You forget how good Brandy was as a singer. I forgot. I
You do
forgot, like,
forget. You
yeah,
do
you do.
forget, but then you
It's been
also
20, 25 years.
yeah. But that's
Moesha.
with the longevity of her career, it's gonna be easy for you to forget, right? And then you also forget that with each of those singles that she had that she put on, not like the B cuts, but like the singles that she put out, she was dominating the airwaves at that time. Whatever song she put out, whether it be Hot 97 or any other radio station, it was dominating, and you forget about that Brandy's not to be fucked with certain areas.
And Monica, I don't know whether it was called Gucci Shoes or Dozen Roses.
I don't remember. I didn't write down any of the songs. This is off the cuff. I literally just watched it
What?
again.
But with that one, I give it to Brandy again. The Gucci Shoes one was it's like a head bopper, which is still fine. But my one, Brandy's taking it away at this point for me. And I thought going in, I thought that Monica was going to take it only because I have a biased fandom toward Monica.
Yeah, I went in thinking that Brandy was gonna run away with this. I didn't think that Monica had enough hit songs to hang with Brandy. And I think the first round I gave to Monica, and I don't think I gave her another round uh, for quite some time after that. So, but yeah, the second round I gave to Brandy. Um, yeah,
Okay, so this is an interesting round. They all turn into interesting rounds from here on out, I believe, with the exception of a few. So Brandy pulls out "Full Moon,"
hmm
um, which is a
another
good
song that
move.
was on their airwaves for I don't know, months.
Weeks,
Yeah, weeks,
yeah.
months, whatever. Yeah.
But then Monica hits him with "So Gone," which is a personal favorite of mine.
Mhm.
What did you feel about that round?
Now, that round I did give to Brandy again off the fact that um, I just heard more of that song. Now it's hard to say that because "So Gone" was a song that you couldn't get away from as well. But that round I did give to Brandy again. That's just my personal. I think my personal opinion. I think that round could have went to either or. So I could have just given it a tie, but I just give it to Brandy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Monica on that one. The fact that she did that little rap in the middle of it too, and the beat was so dope, and the harmonizing behind the lyrics was a
Uh-huh.
favorite of mine. This is when Brandy pulled out the Tupac shout out,
Of course.
and me and my girlfriend. For those that don't know or you've been living under a rock, Tupac says, "17 like Brandy, you just want to be down," and she kept repeating that and repeating that. Bro, the smiles between those women were like clenched teeth. I loved it.
I mean, again, it started out really well. I think they were actually cool, and then one or two comments that they didn't like. I think that's what ultimately just went a little left somewhere.
I gotta look
Pretty
up any
funky content
headlines
though.
or any news about it. But so "Wanna Be Down," which is Brandy was young as hell.
Yeah, I
They
think what,
kept they
like
kept
13,
competing with each other. Like I
14.
was 16 when I made this song. I was
Yeah.
14 when I made that song. I was 15 when I
And
made
you
that
know
song.
what? I think that's where, and you never really understood the dynamics between them or whatever the tension was. But then I guess they kind of inadvertently let you into why there was some tension. And regardless of what was said behind, closed doors or what happened behind the scene, ultimately they were both young, talented women competing for the same songs, for the same soundtracks, for the same opportunities, and of course that's going to create some type of competition, and then it'll get snowball into other things. But that's what I got from it. Like I don't know the specifics, obviously, and that's women's business. I don't want to know, but you kind of understood after last night what that was a little bit about.
Monica answered, "Want to Be Down with One of Them Days." Well, who do you give it to with that round?
Another good Another good round, but again, I Want to Be Down was probably one of the earliest songs I remember from Brandy, if not the earliest song from Brandy. So, and that was another big song to start off her career. So I gave that round to Brandy.
I'm gonna agree with you. "Want to Be Down." Damn, it's so close, but I'm gonna say "Want to Be Down." Took a like photo finish.
Yeah.
Hot to Trot. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but the horse and the teeth
Yes, with
past the
the
finish
teeth.
line. That was a terrible movie
He
that I watched all
he
the
he
time
won,
as a kid.
he won the race by his teeth. I remember that. Yes, I
Happy Trails, Walter.
remember. Yes.
Um, yeah, but I'm going to say Monica took it. Excuse me, Brandy walked away with it just slightly though. So then
Yeah.
Brandy does "Baby" on the next one, and Monica answers with "Like This and Like That." I was indifferent to this one.
Yeah, I honestly gave that one a tie. Could have very easily went with Brandy on that one, but I don't know, I wanted to balance it out, so I just gave it a tie rather than just caping for Brandy the entire time. So I gave that one a tie.
How about "Angel in Disguise" versus "Shoulda Known Better"?
Should have known better is a, s- a song I like personally more. So should have known better is gonna get the thumbs up for me on that one.
Yeah, that was a real easy fall in love moment with Monica for me
Yeah,
when I was.
yeah.
Um, it's her voice for me. Like her voice is.
Now, who do you think has the better voice? Let's get
I would
down
say
to it.
Monica.
You think so?
Monica.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Brandy has because Brandy hits pockets and she hits notes
No, you know what?
that,
I'll give you that. I still stand by Monica, but Brandy did surprise me last night when she was singing live, and she
yeah,
was doing
just
these
like
runs.
just like it, like just like the song was just like the song. Yeah, She put it on display. I
But
don't.
Brandy looked like she wanted to sing along so bad, like she wanted to perform. Um, you know
Brandy
what
came from
killed
her
me about
throat.
Brandy, and we didn't talk about? You know what killed me about Brandy? Her poems, bro. Her her poems. You know what? You know what made me think of what it made me think of it. Her reading. Let me read my poem real quick because I write poetry now.
Because I
Okay,
write
Monica.
poetry, by the way.
That's what I do. It made me
Now you're
think
gonna.
of like when you're having a party with your friends, and then like your grandfather comes out of nowhere. And let me show you some pictures. Pictures when I was younger, when I was the age of you whippersnappers. Let me just sit
That's
down.
funny.
Get out of my lap, kid. This is a bridge, and I'm like, bro, like, can we get on with the party? Like,
No, she wanted to stunt. I mean, Brandy came for the smoke. I think a lot of whatever was bothering her, was bothering Monica, slipped out a little bit. And you gotta show them that you're still doing okay. You got to stunt on sometimes. You got to
I
stunt
swear,
on sometimes.
I'm gonna.
And I'm not. And to be honest with you, I'm not mad at it. I think that I would do the exact same thing if I had poems in the tub. Fuck it, 1.2 million people. Guess what you're gonna get?
You start
Poems.
painting as a hobby, and behind you is like 12 different paintings that you've done.
No, I'm painting live while I'm doing the verses. Finger painting live.
You're gonna do just happy little trees, guys. Happy
Just
little
happy little
trees.
trees. Oh, and by the way, Tupac shouted me out on this song, and then just started painting more trees and shit. Just fuck what I would do.
But yeah, I'll give it to Brandy that she was doing these runs, and I was like, man, that's a beautiful voice. I still stand by Monica. Then we got Missing You. This one was a runaway for me.
Yeah.
Missing You versus For You I Will by Monica. Monica took that shit.
Yeah, very hard. I mean, Monica does have songs that you just can't. You're just gonna have to concede and just let her win that round. Just let her do her thing. Very little to talk about in that round. Of course, Monica won that round.
Um, and then Brandy took it away on this one for me. Almost Doesn't Count versus Why I Love You So Much.
Yeah. Again,
Look at you doing your own runs.
you like that? Yeah, Almost Doesn't Count was another song that I just could not get the fuck away from. It was on every fucking I don't know what was up with that year, but that year was just the Almost Doesn't Count year for quite some time. So yeah, Almost Doesn't Count. And it's a really good song too. Once I got a breather away from it, you listen to it again, it's a pretty
Oh
good
no,
song.
yeah. Sometimes they play it every 43 seconds, and then you're like,
Yeah,
oh, and then you don't mind hearing it.
yeah.
So the last round before the break, where Monica decided to play new shit,
Of course.
was Broken Hearted versus Love All Over Me.
I think I gave that one a tie if I remember correctly. I wasn't really much of a fan of either um at the time. So I gave that one. I split that one down the middle. Gave it to both of them.
So for me, so at the end of this break, 4-3, you split that down the middle. I actually gave it to Brandon.
Yeah, again, you could have given it to either one, depending on your opinion. And I don't know. Yeah, I didn't feel like that was a round where somebody came out clear to me anyway. Didn't come out like a clear winner. So I just gave it to both of them.
Oh damn it,
See, it's
that's what
kind
it
of
is.
it's kind of hard because like again, Monica doesn't have the fan favorite songs. I don't want to. I'm kind of treading lightly when I
She
say that,
doesn't, and this is
but
something we talked about.
she can sing her
For
fucking
me,
ass off though.
I know Brandy has more commercially successful stuff, but
Hmm.
for me, it was Monica having this music, and for you it was the other way around. For me, Monica has music that makes you feel like you're listening to Tony Braxton in the '90s and stuff that I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like Monica's more contemporary
Hmm.
and Brandy's more commercial.
Yeah, and they both can sing their fucking asses off. So depending on whatever song it is, you're just gonna have to come down to who you felt sing it better. And in certain situations where I think they're very very close, and I just gave it to both of them. I really didn't like judging. This wasn't one of the verses that I liked judging. The first last night when I originally heard it, I didn't have any pen, no paper, wasn't keeping track of anything. I just wanted to experience it. I think
Hmm.
going back to the Snoop and excuse me, and the X versus was the first time I just wanted to experience it. I didn't want to write
Yeah, you
anything
were
down.
saying you were glad that we didn't do the recap because, you know,
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to do a
when it
recap
comes
on
to
it.
what me and you do, it turns into work sometimes because
Yeah,
we're writing down the number, we're writing down the titles, and we're trying to think of who would win already. But
mhm.
yeah, DMX and Snoop was an experience, and
Yeah, dude.
last night was a crazy one. So Monica
Yeah,
decided to play a
stunt,
new song with 1.2 million people
stunt.
watching,
What better time to do that?
and then she hits another new song called Anything
Uh-huh.
to start off the next one right after the break. I thought it was dope. I liked it.
I liked
Had
it
a
too.
good vibe to it. Yeah, it
I
was
liked it
good.
too.
But then Brandy came out with Top of the World.
And what do you do with that? You can't do anything with that besides play some new music. Just play some new music. You know
By the
what?
way, I have this
I
out.
got
By the way,
nothing. Yeah, I got nothing for that. So, and I don't know if they have each other's list beforehand. I would doubt it. But yeah, if I knew that Top of the World
some
was coming,
with the
I would
past
like to
few
know. I would
verses,
like
I feel like they do have each
they
other's
do have
lists.
each other's list. See, if I know that Top of the World is coming, that's when I'm just gonna play some new music, let somebody hear it, let the people hear it, because I know I'm not winning that round. There's nothing you can do with Top of the World.
Because with DMX and Snoop, after Snoop played "What's My Name," DMX all he did was this.
Yeah.
He looked at his DJ and it was like that.
I think
So
that had a lot to. I think when it came to the X and Snoop thing, I think that was very collaborative. I think Swiss Beats had a lot to do with that by putting X's 20 songs together and sitting down with Snoop's DJ and putting both 20s together. And I think that's how that came about. So I don't think that happened here, but something tells me that I can't see them getting together or their producers getting together to
no.
know what somebody else is
Did
coming
you
with.
notice? Did you notice when Brandy wanted to talk about a new project she had on an independent label, and then
Hmm.
Monica was like, "Go ahead and tell him." And Brandy's like, "Nah, I don't want to come off." She's like, "No, no, it's okay. Go ahead
This
and
is a
tell him." I said.
versus. Yeah,
So
this is a versus.
Brandy talked about how she's on an independent label. Do you
Mm.
feel that Monica was pushing her to say that to make everybody feel like, damn, she can't have a big label backing her up. She needs to go independent.
I don't think no. I think that was one of those few instances where it was just genuine. I think through all the cattiness and the cheap shots that were taken, I think she actually wanted Brandy to get her shit off. Although Brandy had been getting her shit off the entire fucking night, but that was one of those things. Like, I am independent. It's just me now. There's no more big time production behind me. There's no more, any of the glitz and glamour that comes with my career. Is now you just got me. And to be honest with you, from like the past few months, Brandy has been coming out with some songs, and I like the shit out of them. I like Brandy more now than I did back then with some of the music that she had on display last night. To be honest with you, so to answer your question,
Yeah,
no, I don't
there
think
was
that
a
was a
nice
cheap shot.
moment where she sang Sam Cooke's "Change Gonna Come."
Okay,
It was a beautiful, beautiful rendition of it. Um,
she could sing.
so then from here out, it was like I just watched it. I
Hmm.
wasn't really scoring them. So still standing by Monica against Borderline by Brandy. A lot of people liked Borderline for that.
I like Borderline too. I like Borderline. That's one of my personal favorites from Brandy.
That makes it 8-3 so far.
I
And then
told you.
Monica has commitment against Brandy's Love Again.
I don't remember who I gave that round to. So let's just again, since I don't remember it, it didn't have that much of an impact on me. So let's just give it to both of them.
Slow Jam versus Put It Down by Brandy.
Slow Jam versus Put It Down. I think I remember I like Slow Jam more. Personally, I like Slow Jam more, so I gave that round to Monica.
So that makes it 4-9. The first night against Who Is She to You?
Who is she to you? Uh, Who Is She to You was from
I gave
Monica.
it
Oh
to
no, that's from
Monica.
Brandy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandy. Uh, yeah, I went with Monica on that round. I'll agree with you
Yeah,
there.
because that was another one that I always always remembered. Knock Knock by Monica versus Best Friend by Brandy.
Best Friend.
Damn, as a big a fan of Monica as I was, Brandy is taking it.
Told you.
Before You Walk Out of My Life by Monica versus.
Before, but don't even. I don't. You know what? You can just stop right there. Let me just stop you right there. That to me is probably my favorite Monica song of all time.
Who do you think is the better singer, or Brandy? Right?
Brandy. But Before You Walk Out of My Life, that's I don't even. I think that might have been around. You might want to compete with like a Top of the World with.
What would have won between those two?
Exactly, because that one would have been a bitch to try to pick a winner. I probably still would have went with Before You Walk Out of My Life. Yeah, that's out of the two catalogs, I think that's my favorite song between both catalogs, to be honest with you.
Do you feel what's Brandy's biggest song? Let's take
Brandy's
The Boy's
biggest
Mind
song.
out of the equation because we already know that
Yeah,
between
I
those.
wouldn't even put that in there. I guess Top of the World, to me, when I think of Brandy, Top of the World is probably the one that I I think about when I think of Brandy. Um, so I would say Top of the World.
So this is a good one because I am partial to Monica's choice in this round, but then Brandy comes out with one that definitely has some weight behind it. Every time the beat drop with them Franchise Boys, I love that damn song. Love it. It's such a dumb Atlanta like dance song that Monica probably had no business doing at that time, but only to
Oh
pander to the
no,
audience, to the hip hop
nah.
audience at that time.
So that's the thing about Monica that I like is that she's with the shits, bro. She'll go and get a fucking one of those down south snap beats and demolish it. So I wouldn't say she had no business doing being on it, but I liked it. I liked it.
Oh no, but I mean, when you look back at what she's done,
Hmm.
you're like, now she's gonna do it with this. Just like that new song that she put out, she had Lil Baby on it, and that guy, his performance on that song, I'm not a fan of because there was no cadence to it. It wasn't on beat. I feel like, but then she's like, oh, Lil Baby came in and killed it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, he didn't. He didn't. But every time the beat drop versus Talk About Our Love by Brandy.
Uh, I gave that round to Brandy.
Oh man.
Yeah, I gave that round to Brandy. I like that song.
See, I got 7-10. You got 6-11. So
I think that's
this
just
one's a
11
funny
songs,
one.
though, right?
Yeah, this one's a funny one. Sideline Ho by by Monica. You're almost like
I'm gonna get
man. If you were that guy, you're like, oh yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
yeah. Sideline
Against
Ho versus.
put that on everything
Okay,
by Brittany.
let me ask you a question. You knowing me and my personality, who do you think I gave that round to? Let's just take out of the equation that I've heard both songs. Let's just throw that up to the side. This is off the titles alone. Who do you think I gave that round to?
I'm gonna say Sideline Ho.
There you go. You got it.
All right. So you got I got 8-10. You got 7-11. Do you remember the last round? Because I was miscounting and
I don't remember the
because
last round.
they just kept playing music past the
Yeah,
20th.
I don't remember where exactly it stopped. I just at that point, like just like yourself, I was just listening, and I wasn't really keeping track. Although that doesn't kind of help when I'm doing a recap the next day. But no, I don't remember. Let's just whatever it was, just give it to both of them. I think it was just ultimately just a great display of both their bodies of work, their talent, their their pristine ability to not let shit go, to just have like the cattiness go back and forth. I loved it.
Loved it.
Um,
Loved it.
Loved it. And again, it was just a way just to embrace it, to enjoy, celebrate both of their catalogs and their careers, which was
Yeah.
uh, which was needed.
After Rick Ross and 2 Chainz, it seems like they took a break. You know.
Hmm.
And so I was like, I don't know if Versus still has stock or if they're like, maybe we should put it down. But
I
this
think
one
I had
definitely brought
I
it
think I
back
had
to
a
life.
conversation. Sorry to cut you off. I think I had a conversation about this not too long ago with another one of our friends. I think this is just getting started. I think they're just being more meticulous and about who they're gonna have in verses, and now it's getting to a point where they're just not gonna just start. They're not gonna just throw people together. They're gonna actually take the time to scout out and listen to the people of what they wanted. Because I'm pretty sure Brandy and Monica started just from the fans saying that they wanted to see it. Let me ask you a question though. Do you think when Swiss Beats and Timbaland went to Brandy and Monica, do you think when they presented the idea of them going against each other that they were just on board immediately, or do you think they had to be
No,
coerced and talked into doing it?
no, I feel like it took some talking into, especially the fact that nobody gets paid with this.
Yeah.
Sponsors are there, but it's like, hey, Diddy's like, hey, I'll send you some bottles if you just talk about Ciroc. And Tyler Perry's like, I'll let you use my studio if you just say that you're in my studio.
Yeah.
So that's it. Nobody gets paid, just exposure. Probably a no, but then I think Swiss and Tim have to show the numbers that all these artists do after the verses happens. Their streams goes up. Their streams go up.
Their back catalog
Their back
is
catalog
yeah.
comes up in top 20 type shit. They get a bunch of followers. Now you have people. It's a long game when it comes
Hmm.
to verses. It's a celebration, but it's also a long game because it's like I just gained all these followers, and hopefully they'll be streaming my stuff in the future.
Hmm.
So let's fantasy book because we actually finished early. And we have a little bit of time.
Yeah, I
This
didn't
is
think this
something
one was going to take too long.
this is something we disagree on. When Scott Storch faced Manny Fresh, Scott Storch used he used beats that he was just a part of, not ones
Okay.
that he did. He was part of ones with Tim and Dre, so he was using Tim and Dre beats.
Hmm.
So there's that angle, but then also when T-Pain faced Lil Jon, Lil Jon was using his records as an artist and as a producer. Me personally, like they're talking about the dream one is Diddy and Dre. So would you be okay with Diddy? Would you be okay with artist against artist or producer against producer or whatever you did against whatever I did?
I like the verses because the rules are kind of loose. There's not really any hardcore rules. Do whatever the fuck you want, and I'm with it. If you want, listen. If John Legend can get off that Lauryn Hill song, then anybody can get anything off because all he did was, play the keys to that song. And you know, if you're asking me, do I want to see Diddy and Dre in a room together playing their biggest hits? Yes. I don't give a fuck what type of parameters you want to put on them, what parameters you don't want to put on them. Put them two in a room, play some of their best songs, because you're gonna get Pac songs, you're gonna get Biggie songs, you're gonna get Dog Pound songs, you're gonna get Bad Boys, you're gonna get Junior Mafia songs, you're gonna get a whole type everything. So yeah, I don't care what you
So
gotta do to make that happen.
who's your pick between Dre and Diddy?
Oh,
I can't actually. I was trying to pick something right
yeah, I don't know. I guess my East Coast bias would kind of come into play here, and I would have to go
now.
with with Sean Combs, but I don't know. Again, I don't know shit about shit, man. You put them two in a room and start playing their songs, I might have a different
Yeah,
outcome.
it changes. It definitely changes. Another one that they want to do, Now, see, now they're talking about TV deals and they're talking about a pay-per-view deal. Like if it gets
That's what
big
I'm
enough,
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like they're that's the reason why they're gonna see more space in between now, because now it's a business. Before it was just like some bullshit quarantine shit, but now it's a fucking business that they're running, and they're gonna want sponsors. They're gonna want these TV deals. You know, once you saw them linking up with Apple TV and Apple Music, that's when you knew it was starting to shift. And
yeah, a lot of people were upset about that because they're like, a couple of comments were like, "Oh, I thought you were for the culture and you weren't going to sell
well,
out and everything."
well,
And
no. I
it's like,
mean, sometimes it's not about selling out. Sometimes you need that additional revenue to get a Diddy and Dre, because something
mhm.
tells me you're not going to be able to get Diddy and Dre in a room without you actually having to pay them. Everybody else thus far, you might have been able just to say, "Hey, remember I did this for you? I need you to come do this versus for me." Especially
Yeah,
as you know, Tim and Swiss, they've done a lot for a lot of people. So they probably just did that off the arm. Like, yeah, I'll do it. It's a good look. You know, your catalog will jump up. You'll be supporting me whenever you need a favor down the line. I got you. But you want to get Dre. If you want to have Dre stop whatever the fuck he's doing and Diddy stop whatever he's doing and put them in a room to play 40 songs, you might have to pay them, or you might have
yeah.
to come up with something
You
to pay
might
them.
have to buy them some dinner, a roast
Something,
duck,
something. You might
some
have to
New
cook the duck
England
yourself.
clam chowder, maybe. Not the red or the white.
Is that the red or the white? The white? Yeah.
Um, One that I'm dying to see. They're putting up Eminem against other people that I don't feel is on his level, but I feel like Eminem versus Jay-Z would be the good one.
There is no way you're getting Jay-Z in a room. I think it's hard enough you're going to get Diddy and Dre in a room together, but you have zero. Now, I could be wrong about this. You have zero possibility of getting.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but Sasha's going to work and she's saying hi.
Hi, Sasha. Have a good day at work.
But yeah,
You have
you
zero
don't see
chance.
Jay
You, I think,
playing a part.
I think you have zero chance of getting Eminem in the fucking room with somebody. That guy's a hermit crab. You're not getting him out. You definitely have to pay him. So and I don't think you're gonna get Eminem to do it, and I damn sure don't think you're gonna get Jay. Now I think if you were to get them, it would be with those two because they have that past history together. So if they were to do it, it would be between those two, I would think. But
That would be the pay-per-view one. That would be the big one.
yeah, and I would pay it. Whatever I had in my pocket, I'd pay it. See
Yeah.
those two sit in a room and just play the 20 of their best songs, because Jay-Z has 20 songs that I would love just from like a 2-year run, let alone his whole fucking career. That would be a tough
Oh
20 to
yeah.
pick
Oh yeah.
out.
And then
Um,
to count in his features, Eminem's
exactly.
features, Eminem's production catalog.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
that would be rough. That would be rough. But I mean, I would love to
um,
see it.
so what's on the horizon for school for little Mia? You doing the virtual
Virtual.
learning?
Everything's virtual. Yeah. School's starting all over now. But everything's gonna be virtual, which I'm actually happy for. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but things in Jersey aren't back to 100% yet. So, um, it does kind of help that people aren't back to full time work just yet, so they can make sure that their children are actually learning and taking care of stuff at home. But as far as my daughter, everything's gonna be virtual.
Oh, of course. Do you feel like it's going to impact any social skills or conversational skills because kids aren't interacting in person with other children?
Uh, Possibly. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do think that kids do need that physical contact, and that they're gonna miss their friends, and they're gonna get tired of
Yeah.
looking at mom and
What I'm
dad at
worried about
home.
actually is sometimes people confide in their teacher about something's going on at home. You know,
Yeah.
they go to them, the counselor. And these are just things that I think about. I'm glad that they're finding a way for the kids to go back to school and everything, but
Hmm.
there are going to be, I'm pretty sure there are going to be some issues, but I wish every parent out there the best because I know this is some rough
It's gonna be
stuff. Some
rough.
working parents
It's gonna be rough.
are trying to adjust their schedule, and
Hmm.
this year's just been a hit on all of us. And for anybody watching, there's some I want to say. Mental health has been such an open conversation now that anybody, it's okay to talk about things. It's okay for a man to feel vulnerable. Anybody out there who says men don't cry, it's a pile of shit. But a lot of people are not doing good right now. So, they say a dog is most dangerous. An animal is most dangerous when they're cornered, because now they're going to fight and crawl and scratch and claw their way to get out. They're going to be scratched up. They're going to be bloodied up, but they're going to get out. So for all of those that think that they're alone, because I had this conversation with somebody the other day, we're all cornered right now. We are all cornered. We all don't know what's going to happen. We all are adjusting as time goes by. We need to adapt because we have tiny little walking, talking reasons why we can't give up. They are the reason we're here. They're the ones that teach you who you are. So if they say they say you give up, it's an example that you don't want to give. It's rough stuff right now, but my heart is out with everybody. We're almost done with this year. I say at the end of the year, we just take a shot and just never talk about this ever again.
We are limping to the finish line over here, man. Limping.
Yeah, to the next verses, this is D, my brother from another, Brian Davis. I appreciate you all the time, bro. I love talking with you about a bunch of subjects, things. Later on tonight, I'll be having Holodead, who is going to be doing commentary for Hell Hath No Fury for Mission Pro Wrestling show, September 18th, Buda, Texas. I am a proud sponsor. And what's cool about it is that the closer we get to this event, the more important I realize it is. Every position in this company is being held by a woman and will do so forever. And then Thursday, I have Brian Cervantes, who is behind the scenes for Mission Pro Wrestling. He's also the husband of Thunder Rosa. So we're going to talk about how much support they've gotten and what they see in the future for Mission Pro Wrestling. But Sunday, I get to finally announce that Sunday I will be having former WWE Women's Champion, former ECW wrestler, now the head road agent for Mission Pro Wrestling, Jazz, which is a fucking kick-ass guest. I cannot wait to talk to her.
Can't wait to watch that.
No, yeah, bro. I like Jazz. I've met her a few times before shows, but
Jazz
just an intimidating woman.
She's badass, man.
Yeah,
badass chick. Congratulations, by the way.
No, I appreciate that. Anything you want to say to anybody before we sign off here?
No. Thank you for that. The mental health, topic that's needed in today's environment, in today's economy, in today's climate. If you need to talk to just anybody out there, if you need to talk to somebody about things that are going on, don't feel hesitant to. Everyone's going through the same thing. I think that's what gets lost in just the everyday hustle and bustle with things, that everyone's going through the same thing. Everyone's got problems. Everyone has things that they're dealing with. And sometimes we need each other. So don't be scared to reach out. If there's nobody there for you, a close friend, reach a hotline. Shit, call me. Get my name. Get my number from D and call me. Just anybody that's out there. So thank you for that, D. Thank you for this look. I enjoy doing all these verses with you, sir. So enjoy the rest of your day. Signing off.
Everybody take care. Have a good day. I'll see you guys later tonight. Peace.